welcome everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Christine and I'm the Astro CEO, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I am a psychic medium, and I wanted to come on and just do something a little bit differently. I in the past have always enjoyed looking at legal cases. And so I thought it'd be a good idea. I had found out about this case, and this case that I'm talking about is pertaining to former Officer Felipe Hernandez of the Las Cruces Police Department. And I just found out about this case just a couple days ago, and I've been getting hit after hit after hit on this case. So I wanted to come on and talk about it. I wanted to come on urgently and talk about it. Today is Friday, October 24th, because there is a trial that's getting ready to start on Monday, the 27th of October, 2025. So I wanted to come on and talk about this case. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. So this is just my opinion. I am a psychic medium, so I wanted to tell you what kind of hits I'm picking up on this case. So if you're not familiar with the case, you can go to YouTube, and there's plenty of videos. There's body cam videos about this case. You just have to type in Felipe Hernandez or Teresa Gomez, Las Cruces PD, and pull this up. So the incident, I'll just tell you the background of it. The incident happened on October 3rd, 2023, so a couple years ago, at approximately 4 a.m. in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And basically, Officer Felipe Hernandez, or Felipe, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was on patrol on his bike, and patrolling this area where there was low income housing, and he came across a vehicle that had two occupants in it. One of the occupants was a woman by the name of Teresa Gomez, who she also goes by Terry. And so he approached the vehicle. He asked them what they were doing here, and she's like, "Hey, we're just visiting a friend." He's like, "Hey, you can't be here. They have certain hours that you can be here." And she's like, "Well, I didn't know." And he's like, "Well, I'm telling you, this is what's going on." And she didn't ever come across as aggressive. He asked her to get out of the vehicle. She didn't want to at first. She's like, "Hey, we're not doing anything wrong. We're just sitting here. I'm looking for my keys." And it started escalating immediately. And he started to get very aggressive. And so she had her window rolled down. He asked her to step out, and he noticed that there was a paintball gun in the front seat that was being held by the passenger in the front seat. So he immediately got concerned, asked her to step out of the vehicle, and he started asking her questions about who she was, what's her name, and it was just escalating and escalating. You can look at the video. You can go onto YouTube and just type in Felipe Hernandez and pull up the body cam videos, and you can see what I'm talking about. But it started escalating, and I can't even begin to tell you how many times he dropped the F-bomb. I think I stopped counting after 10. And it escalated and escalated, and she, at first she was hesitant to cooperate, but she finally did. And he was doing some weird things, like opening up her trunk and looking in there and slamming it down. And he's like, "This car isn't drivable." And she's like, "Yes, it is. My car runs fine." And she's like, "I got insurance and registration." And she's like, "My car runs perfectly fine." And it started building and building and building, and the aggressive nature of this officer. And I'm not here to choose sides either, okay? I'm not here to choose sides. I'm just giving you my psychic impressions that I'm getting about this case. To me, it came across as very unprofessional on behalf of this officer, and extreme aggressiveness. That is what I saw in the video. And I'm going to give you some quotes. Other than the F-bombs that he dropped, here are some of the quotes that the officer said to her. He said, "Shut the fuck up." Okay? He said, "Don't make things fucking difficult for me." Then he said, "Can you just shut the fuck up for 10 minutes? Okay, this is law enforcement saying this. Then he said, "When I ask you to do something, you've got to step the fuck out." Like I said, he dropped the F-bomb so many times, I stopped counting. There were so many times that he dropped the F-bomb, and it was just so unprofessional. Okay, so remember, this is, again, for entertainment purposes only. This is just my opinion as a psychic medium. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen and what's coming. she was cooperative, as time went on. And she's like, look, and she's like, I just was looking for my keys. We're not doing anything. She pulled the keys out of her pocket. She said, look, I found them. And it just kept building and building and building, the aggressiveness of this officer. And you can hear it in his voice. You can feel the energy. I mean, you don't need to be a psychic medium to feel that energy that was coming from him. And he was dropping the F-bomb, saying all these rude things to her. And she looked at him, and this is on the body cam video, and she looked at him and she says, can you just be nice? That's it. Can you just be nice? And it kept escalating and escalating. And I'm sorry, but that quote that she said when she looked at him and said, can you just be nice? And the thing was, he was so fixated on her. My opinion, and I'm not in law enforcement, but my opinion would be you need to be focused on the guy that's holding the gun, not this woman, or maybe focus on the two of them. I don't know how it works at a traffic stop. So it's just my opinion. Like, the gun's over here. Shouldn't you focus on that guy and the gun and not this woman? So it kept escalating and escalating and escalating. And then finally, um, she said, is it okay if I get back in my car? And he says, sure. And I thought maybe it's because she was cold, because it's October. So she got in her car and she started it up. So I thought, well, maybe she's turning on the heat because it's chilly. And next thing I know, she's driving away, which is what, when I tapped into her psychically, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but she probably shouldn't have done that. And I just heard, no, I shouldn't have done that, is what she just said. So she started driving away. He pulled out his gun. He shot her 3 times. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that for sure. 3 shots went off. I don't know if all 3 hit her. Okay, I don't have access to the autopsy report or anything like that. But he fired his gun 3 times. At least one of those bullets hit her as she was driving away. And the interesting thing is, what he said was on the, and it's picked up on his body cam video. He said, she tried to run over me. And I'm looking at the video. I'm like, no, no, she didn't. She was trying to get away from you, because he was, the car was here and he was on the side of the car. Car door was open. He was on the side, and she was trying to go that way and he was back over here. She wasn't trying to run over him, but that's what he said on the body cam video. He said, she tried to run over me. And I didn't see that at all in the video. She was trying to get away from him. Okay. And I think she was just scared. I mean, I would be scared too. It's alone. It's 4 a.m. It's dark. You got this guy who's like out of control. And she asked to speak to a sergeant. And it just is an unfortunate circumstance. But the minute I found out about this case, I wanted to come on and talk about it because I've been getting some psychic hits. So we'll talk about those in just a minute. Since then, again, this case happened October 3rd, 2023. Since then, the family has sued the city of Las Cruces, New Mexico, and they were awarded a $20 million settlement. And so a $20 million settlement was reached with the family. And so I just wanted to give you that tidbit of information. Former and Officer Felipe Hernandez was fired, and he is now being charged with second-degree murder in this case. And the case is set to go to trial on Monday, October 27th, 2025. So I wanted to get this video out and give you what I'm picking up psychically on this. 3 shots were fired by this officer, and he used deadly force in this. And it's just an unfortunate circumstance, and it's always, hindsight's always 2020, right? But I feel psychically, I don't know what was going on with Felipe Hernandez, but I feel like something in his personal life, and I almost want to say it was regarding a relationship, something was building there, is what I feel. And again, I don't know these people. I've never met him, don't know anything about him. I don't even know if he's married or had a girlfriend, but I feel like there was something that happened in his personal life, possibly regarding a relationship along those natures, that this aggression, this anger that was built up inside of him had been building for a while. And I wish, hindsight's 2020, a lot of these high pressure jobs, they can get to you. I've had a high pressure job as well. And sometimes it's good to just say, you know what? I need to take a break. I need to book a trip to Cancun and just sit on the beach for a little bit and reassess here and gather myself. I wish she would have done that. Hindsight's always 2020. Like, you want to say, God, man, why didn't you just take a break? Why didn't you just tell the people around you, hey, I got to take a break. This job is getting to me. We're all human. We don't live in a perfect world. Um, but my reason for doing this video is because I am a psychic medium and I wanted to talk about this. Um, I did tap into Terry's energy, Teresa Gomez, and she said a couple of interesting things to me. First of all, the letter R and the letter K was very prominent when I spoke with her energetically. She also said that she almost went instantly. I don't know. I don't have access to the autopsy report. I don't know exactly when she passed away. But what she had told me energetically was that it was almost at that point when she was still in the car, she already started the transition. Okay. It was that quick, but I don't know exactly when they pronounced her deceased. Um, I know that was having difficulty breathing and things like that, but she said she went quick. And what she said to me was that she said, I didn't live a perfect life. She goes, I made some mistakes. And but what came across was that she was just a kind soul. Okay, she was a very kind soul. And I'll never forget that quote when she looked at the officer and said, "Can you just be nice?" You know, and energetically, I picked up that she did cross relatively quickly. She was in that transition right there on the scene, is what I had heard. She gave me the initials R and the initials K. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if this video will get lost in YouTube land or what. Those were very significant. She also mentioned a tattoo when I connected with her psychically. So I don't know if she has a tattoo or if there is a family member that got a tattoo or is thinking about getting a tattoo to honor her somehow. But the tattoo was like prominent that she had spoke about. So again, I don't know if she had a tattoo or a friend or family member is planning on getting one or did get one and to honor her. But she did bring that up. She brought up the letter R, the letter K as well. And yeah, she also said, she goes, I made some mistakes in my life, is what she said. She didn't tell me specifically, but she said, I made some mistakes in my life. And oh, and I just heard, and this was a huge one. So, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I just wanted to come on and tell you psychically what I'm picking up. What was interesting too, and I want to focus on Officer Hernandez, is whew, I was picking up psychically that, again, that there was some issues going on, obviously in his personal life, but it had to do with a female. There was some frustration building up in his personal life pertaining to a female. And I don't know if it was a sister, family member, lover, I don't know. But something was going on that was building up. The interesting thing, though, that I noticed in this video, in the body cam video, is that he didn't render aid to Terry after he shot her. He didn't render CPR. He didn't render any aid. He did call, backup. He called for the ambulance to show up and things like that. But I thought that was really telling that he didn't even offer CPR. He didn't offer any kind of aid at all. And and that's interesting. And the other interesting thing is if he was so concerned about the paintball gun in the front seat, why didn't he ever try to secure that? I mean, even after he had shot Terry, why didn't he try to secure that gun, get the other guy out, handcuff him? Like, I don't know. I mean, and we're not perfect. We don't live in a perfect world, and it's always easier to be a Monday morning quarterback, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Um, so those are some of the questions I have, and I'm not in law enforcement or anything like that. I'm just giving my opinion. I want to tell you about the psychic hit that I'm getting on this case. I do want to tell you that. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong. No psychic medium is ever 100% right, but I am picking up some hits and I want to tell you about those. This is set to go to a jury trial in Las Cruces, New Mexico, starting on Monday, October 27th, 2025. What I'm picking up psychically when I tune in, and I can already see the jury. I will not tell you who will be on the jury, but I can see them and I can see one particular man I can see him, and I'm not going to tell you, I don't want to taint this case or anything like that, but I can already see who's on the jury, one man in particular. And what I see psychically is all the jurors rising at the same time. And when I see that symbol psychically, what it tells me is that the jury will reach a unanimous decision. Okay, when I see psychically all rising at the same time, it's a unanimous decision that will be coming, and it will not be a hung jury. I am 100% sure this will not be a hung jury at all. It is going to be a unanimous decision, and it will be a relatively quick verdict that will be coming through. We're not going to be waiting for days and days and days. This is going to be a relatively quick verdict that will be coming through. And I do see him going to prison. So he will be found guilty. This is my psychic prediction. He will be found guilty, and I do see him in the penitentiary. Now, sentencing, what I see psychically coming up is that he will be sentenced anywhere from 8 to 12 years, is what I'm picking up. Kind of closer to the 10-ish range is what I'm picking up psychically. So again, 8 to 12 years in the state penitentiary for him. So I do see, going forward, this is an unfortunate case. Psychically, when he does get out of prison, it'll be an adjustment period, and his life will go on. I hope that he does get his life back on track, and that life will go on for him. And maybe, it sucks to have such a huge learning lesson that's thrown at you. And hopefully he'll get back on track. I do see that psychically it's going to take a little bit once he gets out of prison, but I do see that eventually things will get back on track again for him. And maybe he can work for law enforcement as a consultant, talking about, split second decisions and things like that. So what else am I picking up here psychically? Wow, I just wish, of course it's tough to say wish, right? So I wish he would have just taken some time off. It looked like the job was getting to him. He had a lot of pressure, going on. And I just wish, gosh, why didn't you just take a weekend off and go to Cancun and relax, and let some of that steam blow off, and instead of letting this incident escalate the way that it did. It's so unfortunate for both parties, but I'm not on one side or the other. I just wanted to come on here and tell you what I'm picking up psychically regarding this case. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, not every psychic medium is 100% correct. I'm just telling you what I'm picking up now. So we'll see what happens, right? We'll find out relatively quickly if I was right or if I was wrong. But my condolences to the family, my condolences to Terry's family. Yeah, it's just a sad situation all the way around. So, um, yeah, so I want to end with that. If there's any other case that you'd like me to look at, please put it in the comments. If there's anything globally that you'd like me to tap in psychically, just write that in the comments. No personal readings, but if there's something globally that you'd like to know more about, or a case that is pending that you'd like me to tap into, I'd be more than happy to do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for joining in. Take care. Bye.